Welcome to My Daily Thread. It's a great little place to get a snippet of wisdom from the yoga and the meditation masters to start or to end your day. I'm Jeff Lichty. All right, here we go. Let's jump right in. We are on the second chapter, verse 29, Yama, niyama, āsana, prāṇāyāma, pratyāhāra, dhāraṇā, dhyāna, samādhi, Aṣṭāṅga. Let's talk about the 8 limbs for a second here. This is the classical blueprint of yoga. Now, you'll often hear yoga be called by different names, and in North American yoga, we think hot yoga and yin yoga and vinyāsa yoga and flow yoga and hatha yoga and all of that. All right, I just want to let you know that the February 2026 retreat dates have been released. We have 2 great retreats, January 31st, starting at a very beautiful beach house right in San Pancho. Excellent views. You can't go better than this. And then after that, I'm going to do a 5-day Mysore style practice session at Casa Ziggy. And then we're going to follow it up with another beautiful retreat at Casa Ziggy. Lots going on in February 2026 in San Pancho. It's the place to come and practice with me and with the Zigster, and it's going to be awesome. All right, look it up on the website. Check it out in the links below. And now back to Patañjali. So let me be clear about one thing here. First off, almost everything that we are doing in North American yogic culture, this is just simply a form of hatha yoga. It's called by different names, but it's specifically dealing with asana, which is the 3rd limb here, and we'll get to it. In this classical blueprint of yoga, Aṣṭāṅga Yoga also is sometimes called Raja Yoga. And Raja just means royal, and it's the royal path to meditation. So Aṣṭāṅga Yoga is this classical system of yoga that eventually is meant to lead us to meditation. So it is not, please, if nothing else we get from this podcast, yoga is not simply physical postures. It's much more than what we've reduced it to. Ethical transformation, mental transformation, spiritual transformation. And if we could only take it on as a holistic practice, we might transcend a lot of the issues we face. So before we jump into all of these practices one at a time, which is what Patañjali does. Remember, he gives us a concept, then he defines it. But let's go through the 8 limbs again. So Yama just means ethical restraints or sometimes observances or regulations. And their sole purpose is to help us live in harmony with other people. The Yamas teach us how to relate to others. Then the niyamas, that's the 2nd limb, are about personal observations. So where the yamas are how we relate to others, niyamas really are about how do I relate to myself, or the inner discipline that I create for myself. Asana, we know a bunch about that from modern media, but it's about having a steady, comfortable posture. And in this case, with Patañjali, he's saying a steady meditative posture. So it's about physical stability. It's about cultivating that strength and stamina in the body. Pranayama is breath work or breath control, and prana is a word that means energy. So prāṇāyāma is the extension of our energy, and so we're learning to regulate our energy and our concentration through breath. Pratyāhāra means sense withdrawal. Now, sense withdrawal, this idea that we can pull the mind back from whatever is trying to capture our senses. And the whole idea with sense withdrawal is to master our attention. Now, these first 5, really the first 4, and with pratyāhāra being a bridge, are considered the external limbs. They're the ones that we can do something about. The final 3 are internal practices that arise out of the external practices. And they are dhāraṇā, which is concentration, dhyāna, which is meditation, and samādhi, which is absorption. So dhāraṇā, this concentration, it's about learning to be one-pointed in our focus. Dhyāna, meditation, it's about cultivating this concentration and letting it grow into a completely unbroken stream of awareness. And then samādhi, or absorption, is This idea of this pure union with awareness, and we talked about that in the first chapter. All right, tomorrow we're going to dive into the yamas. There's 5 of them, and there's one that sets it all off, and we'll start that for a weekend. And on that note, again, thanks for listening, friends. Om. Peace out.